This series is bananas, people. What's up? It's your boy Infrar-Ed. Welcome to the Sky Reports. Today I bring you an anime review of Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress, Episode 2. Now, because of earthquakes that took place in Japan, this episode was actually delayed, but some pirates were able to find it online and we actually got a translation of it. So that was pretty good. I wonder what's going to happen to it next week, because it's been officially announced that the anime has been delayed by a week, so maybe we're going to get a break and then we're going to get episode 2 and 3 and it'll be a week behind from there. We'll just see how it goes. But without further ado, you guys have waited long enough. Let's go ahead and get to the episode. So we start off right off the bat with the opening for this series, and the first thing you see in the opening is a part of the opening that's not a cutscene. That's pretty interesting. We see a group of people surrounding our main character Ikoma, and they say, "What are you? Are you human or are you Kabaneri?" And he says, "I'm neither. I'm a Kabaneri." What's a Kabaneri? We'll find out in this episode for sure. So the episode starts off right where it left off a little bit last time, with Ikoma being excited that not only was he able to stop the virus from spreading to his brain by damn near murking himself by hanging himself in that contraption, the steam gun that he made with the gunpowder actually worked with killing the Kabane as well. And his friend by the name of, I'm going to be terrible with names in this series because it's just so much hype stuff that goes on that I don't pay attention to the names. I admit I gotta do a better job with that. So he's excited, and his friend is named Takumi. That's right. His name is Takumi, and he's celebrating with his friend because his friend helped him build the steam gun that he used to take out the Kabaneri, and also with him being able to isolate the disease or the virus from getting to his neck or up to his brain. That pretty much stopped him from turning to a Kabane as well, and his friend was part of that experiment too, as far as helping him find that. And he says that now that he knows these things, Ikoma wants to go ahead and try to spread this out to the world so people can know how they can fight back and protect themselves against these monsters out here. And that's one thing that I'm liking about Ikoma so far. I mean, the characters that come up with the strategies or the ideas or things like this, they're usually like they're not usually the central characters in anime. They're usually like the friends or the secondary characters, but you have a main character in this series that's thinking outside the box and coming up with the things that are ultimately going to change the tide of the entire series. So once that happens, he says, "I want to try to teach everybody how to stop these things." We go back to MUMEI, who, if you remember last episode, she beheaded a Kabaneri with her shoe, and she just casually kicks her shoe off and goes back into the area where the people are phono right now. It's kind of a safe house, as they're going crazy as the Kabaneri are attacking while they're trying to make their escape onto the train. So with that going on, they never really get to who these people are that MUMEI is with. We know they're samurai, and we know that they're trying to escort some young lady somewhere, but they really haven't got into it unless I missed it. But anyway, I want to talk about the Kabane, because these things are some damn goons. I mean, really, this is scary shit. I mean, think about it. Look at all the things these things have going for them. Number one, they're smart, because they have the intelligence to actually try to actively go and get you. Like what we saw in this episode is we saw some people, they were on top of like a high ground, kind of like a wall, and they're shooting down at the Kabane, and they're like climbing up each other. They're climbing the things, they're actually pulling people down and just munching the lunch on them from there. So they're smart enough to get to their goal and their objective. Second thing is they're fast, and you don't want to deal with fast zombies ever. Something that can bite you and disease you, being fast or not faster than you, and they're smart. That's not a good look. That's pretty bad. God, these people are done for. The third thing is also they're strong, they're fast, and they're strong. That's the third one. I'm sorry about that mistake. These things are strong, as we see in one part of the episode that the Kabane actually ripped one of the steel doors off to the train to get to the objective. Again, I'm not sure if this is actually zombification. I don't think you can classify these things as zombies. I think they're just diseased people, because they still keep their intelligence. It seems like they get enhanced strength and they're faster, and it seems like they know what they want to do. They're not just brainless like zombies. So that's not a good look at all. The highlight of this episode was definitely MUMEI, as she pretty much stole the show this episode. like I was saying, she goes back to these people, this group of samurai, these guards who are trying to escort the people to the train into safety. And one of the people that are with her group, you know, they kind of choose into her, like, where you been? And he tries to touch her, and she breaks him down like some factions and say, don't touch me again. So she realizes that the people need some type of distraction and get away from the Kabaneri. So what she does is she asks if anybody out here can steer the train, and we find that someone can. It's like a deputy or like a junior architect or somebody who can steer the train, but they need to get the Kabaneri out the way. So what MUMEI does is she says, well, you man the train, I'll take care of the rest. She runs and jumps over the wall, lands in the middle of where the Kabaneri is, and starts to inventory her equipment. She's like, you know, I got this many bullets, I got this many knives, and I'm gonna set my timer to 100 seconds. So she gives herself 100 seconds, and she just straight goes in. She's using guns, she's using knives, she's picking stuff off the ground. She's throwing these things and hitting these targets in their chest with pinpoint accuracy. She is taking these things out. And unfortunately, she finished in 110 seconds. But she went straight up solo horde mode on these Kabaneri all by herself. So she is a dangerous chick. I'm putting MUMEI up there for definitely female character of the season just off of what she did alone. And I hope we get more action like that out of her as the series progresses. Meanwhile, while that was going on, she cleared the way for the train so more people can get on. And we get back to Ikoma, who is trying to get on the train with his friend, but given the state that his body is, and people are still very cautious of him because they saw, like, I don't know, for some reason they just think he's a Kabaneri, or they think he's a Kabaneri, and they don't let him on a train because of how he looks, pretty much. So MUMEI shows up as some more Kabaneri starts to come towards the train, and she takes them out just like in no time flat. And she automatically notices that something is different about Ikoma. See, Ikoma does get on the train, and while he's walking, it's like a pillar falls over, and it's a big iron pipe thing. You know, one of those big iron pipes is like in the steampunk in movies and series and everything like that. It was gonna fall on a family, and Ikoma grabs it and just stops it and just pushes it up like it's nothing. This thing was boiling hot. His friend touched it and burnt his hand automatically. We learned that Ikoma can't feel pain. So when he saved himself from that virus, it must have gave him some type of ability, because we also see the Kabaneri that I mentioned, the one that I said that rips the train door open. It rips the door open. Ikoma goes in with his gun, takes the thing out, splatters it, and he kind of turns around to show everybody that, you know, I'm the man. I know how to take these things out. I'm good. But everybody is scared of him at this point because his heart is now glowing gold, just like how the zombies are right now. So everybody's afraid of him. As that comes up, it is a main guard. His name is Kusuru, I believe. His name is Kusuru, and he takes no questions at all. He just shoots Ikoma right in the chest, knocks him off the train. No questions asked. This guy's a jackass. And again, besides being samurais, I don't know the purpose of these people besides escorting a young lady to where she needs to go. And it seems like they might be some type of guard as they're trying to get the people to these trains and getting them to the next destination as well. So he shoots Ikoma, knocks him off the train, leaves him out there for dead by himself. And Ikoma is still trying to desperately prove that he is not a Kabaneri. At this point, he is at the bottom, just taking these things out with the railgun by himself, just being a savage, just taking these things out. And he's saying, I'm going to save you people no matter what. See, while they were trying to escape, the train lever got clogged, so they couldn't get it to move. So Ikoma went through, he mopped everything up and made his way to the lever, pulling the lever and saving everybody. They leave him behind, and you know, he's kind of crying, but at the same time, he was like, well, at least I did something. If I'm going to die, people are going to see me in a good light as who I am instead of as his monster. As he's just sitting there crying, and as the train is leaving, his friend desperately tries to throw a rope to him so he can get on. But they pull him back because, you know, the regular people don't want Ikoma on the train. So at that point, MUMEI runs, she jumps off the train and straps the rope to him, pulling him onto the train. And he's on the train with everybody else now. He's saved. But we get a revelation at the end because that same guard that shot Ikoma comes in, and they just don't want this guy around. He throws that suicide bag we saw in the first episode at Ikoma and basically tells them save everybody the trouble and kill himself. But MUMEI actually steps in and says, no, he is not a Kabaneri. He's a Kabaneri. And a Kabaneri is a half human, half Kabaneri. As she takes down her robe and reveals that she has one of the glowing things on her back like he has on her chest, and that's why she's so awesome, because she is a half as well. So not only is our main character a half Kabaneri and half human, so is MUMEI. And that closes out our episode as she's revealed to be a half human, half goon at this point, and it looked like they're probably going to make some type of task force depending on how the opening looks. Now, another thing that I do want to talk about is the ending for this. The ending is done by Eaze, the same people who did the opening, as well as Amir, and it is beautiful. And Amir, if you've heard her before, if you watch Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, she did the second opening, Brave Sky, and her voice is just beautiful. One of my favorite tracks from her is the ending theme from Terror and Resonance. She did that as well. Very beautiful singer. You got both of these two people put together, and the music just meshes very well. Love the ending, and that was the episode in a nutshell. This series is very good. Like I said before, it's crapping on Attack on Titan right now. I think this is what Attack on Titan probably would have been if it wouldn't have got so popular, because the mangaka of Attack on Titan started making changes because it got popular and he started caring what people thought about it. I think this series is a spiritual successor to what Attack on Titan is supposed to be. And I'm definitely along for the ride, and I hope it keeps this momentum going and don't falter at the end, because usually when things have too strong of an opening, it usually falls flat, or it's just going to be great the entire time. So yeah, that's it for the video. If you guys liked the video, go ahead and drop it a like, and if you want to hear more, go ahead and please do hit that subscribe button as I continue to bring you guys content almost daily at this point. So that's it for the Scout Report. Join me later as I'll be bringing you a review of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable, and tomorrow I'll be bringing you a review of Kiznaiva. So thank you very much once again. It's your boy Infrar-Ed with the Scout Report. As I always say, you guys can be anywhere on YouTube right now, but you chose to listen to me, and I really appreciate that. So until next time, see you soon.